west to Pier. Coverage starts at 6:30 with kickoff at 7 on 100.5 ESPN and live video streaming free on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Conversation continues about Keyshawn Nixon and the Green Bay Packers starting cornerback competition. Head coach Matt LaFleur spoke to the media at training camp this morning. He was asked about Nixon for the first time after the corner's comments that he feels, quote, punished with this starting competition.
He's been awesome since the day he's been here, and I'm not going to micromanage what everybody says, and if he feels a certain type of way, I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that it's a benefit to the team to have people that you feel are capable to go in there and play. Like I said, whether it's at corner or it's the offensive line, I mean, really every spot is, you better come to compete each and every day if you want to be out there.
Then the Milwaukee Brewers are back in action tonight, and so is injured shortstop Bryce Terang. He's back after missing 4 games with left knee tendonitis. First pitch against the Mariners tonight is at 6:40 p.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Jim Rutledge.
I'm sorry, you are not serious about winning football games and winning a Super Bowl and going deep into the playoffs if you don't have a kicker.
Molly Brown.
You should be going further than getting a 7 seed and not winning a playoff game. That is a fact. You should be getting further with this team that you have.
Welcome to Wisconsin's afternoon hangout.
BS say that Jordan Love's the 10th best quarterback
I'm not feeding
in the
into you talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It does have something to do
Go
with
for it.
Best quarterback.
But I literally agreed with you.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I agreed with you saying that Jordan Love is the one holding them back.
Yes.
Move on.
All right. So.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're feisty today. All
no,
right.
I'm just telling you.
This is Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
It's good to hear you're still a positive person after working with Jim for as long as you have.
Alongside Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
Welcome into Molly and Jim. We are presented by Coors Light. The mountains are always blue, and sometimes we are chill. And Riley, sometimes we get the open correct.
Yeah,
there.
sometimes. I mean, we're just carrying over from my rough producing stretch yesterday when Alex Strofe joined the show, and lots of stuff going on today. And for some reason, I did not prioritize making sure my name was, part of the open. So that'll be fixed for tomorrow.
I believe it was Dick Bennett had the play to the level above you sort of mantra. Need to work on that.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say that. We got dips behind the glass.
I'm going to consult Owen. I'm going to consult Strofe. We'll get to that.
Do you understand how messed up your life is right now where you said you had to consult Strofe?
Yeah.
How to play to the level above you?
Yep.
If you missed yesterday's show, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app and see it on the ESPN Madison's YouTube stream. You can stream today's show on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream and obviously listen on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And look, man, Packer talk got started early today with Unsportsmanlike and Chris Canty coming in hot. And then before we get to the audio here from Evan Cohen and Chris Canty, when he referenced the Source, did you have any idea the Source Awards when Evan does in this clip? Do you know what that means?
No.
All right. Long story short, Suge Knight from Death Row Records called out Puff Daddy at maybe he was ahead of his time on the At the Source Awards. And basically said if you don't want, called him out by name, and if you don't want your guy dancing in your videos and things like that, come to Death Row Records. It was like a thing. It was like the Packers and Bears. It was Puff Daddy and Bad Boy Records and
was this
Row Records.
East Coast, West Coast type of thing?
That's why they thought the obviously the attempts successfully on the lives of Biggie and Tupac were tied to this.
Oh, interesting.
They were not, obviously, but that's why some of the vitriol was there. So it was a wild time in music. And the fact that Evan Cohen just casually references it here when he calls out names for ESPN Wisconsin added just another little cherry on top for those of us who were 90s hip-hop heads. But let's hear the clip here from Chris Canty and Evan Cohen hopping in.
Number 4.
The Green Bay Packers.
I agree with you on that.
We got to cut it out with the Green Bay Packers, y'all. This is getting crazy. Jordan Love for MVP. We said that last year. And everybody's still holding on to it coming into 2026. The Packers ended the season on a 5-game losing streak, including blowing not one but 2 double-digit leads to the Chicago Bears in a 4-week span. 4th consecutive year not winning the division, tied for the team's longest streak in the last 3 decades. Under Matt LaFleur, they're 3-6 in the postseason, including 3 one-and-dones. The offensive line, shaky at best. They allowed the quarterback to be pressured on 29% of dropbacks last year, the highest rate for a Packers quarterback in a season since 2018. And oh, by the way, they ranked 25th in the NFL in yards before first contact per rush at 2.3. Green Bay's worst mark since they started tracking the stat in 2009. The Green Bay Packers, 4th on my most overhyped coming into 2026.
I agree with him, and I'm going to take his side on this, and I'm going to go to the Source Awards. Okay? All those hosts up in ESPN Wisconsin, Gabe Neitzel, Josh DiMaggio, Mark Tauscher, Kyle Wallace, Molly Brown, all those hosts up in ESPN Wisconsin telling us all how great the Packers are going to be this year because of Jordan Love. Come to death row. Because we are sitting here and we are going to tell you that the Chicago Bears are going to be better than them, and the Green Bay Packers have a lot to prove with Micah out and Jordan Love only good different parts of the season. I agree with Canty. They are overhyped. That doesn't mean they may not be good. They are just overhyped right now.
No lies spoken. Finally, someone said it.
No lies spoken.
Well, you tell me, because I know what I feel like the pulse of Packers Nation is as far as the expectations of this team and what this team should be expected to do and where I see the team. And I don't want to talk about nationally because nationally everyone's going to get all upset, and you can pick your poison nationally. You can find someone that will pick the Packers to do really well, and then you'll find someone to have the contradicting opinion. You can do that with just about every team. And so there's always going to be this sort of team du jour, and you're going to have this team you're going to hype up, and you're going to have another team you're going to tear down, and that's going to continue. So nationally, I kind of put that aside. But I do think, and let's just focus on ESPN Wisconsin here, and with our fans, I think expectations for this team are too high. You're setting yourself up for, I would say, failure as far as, or disappointment, Packer fans are.
I would strongly disagree. And I was jotting some notes down while Canty was talking,
But before we get to that, what is your expectation for the Packers?
My expectation is a deep playoff run.
Well, what is that the championship game?
At least NFC championship
so
game.
NFC championship game.
That is my expectation for the Packers this year.
Or, I don't want to say bust, but otherwise you're going to say, I am disappointed with how the season went.
Yep. If they don't make it past the divisional round, I will be disappointed with what this Packers team puts out there.
That's where the delusion comes in, because to me, that would be a peak season for the Packers. That would be exceeding expectations because this team has been a 7 seed 3 years in a row. Matt LaFleur does not have a great track record in the playoffs. Forget the rest of the advanced stats, and not even advanced, but some of the stats that Canty had to say. You can dig into it. But for me, I see the evidence that a Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love-led team, however the circumstances shake out, break out to be a 7 seed over and over again that maybe can win one playoff game but aren't consistent enough to be able to win enough playoff games to get to the Super Bowl.
I would argue extraneous circumstances. Specifically, 2 years ago, they were a 7 seed. Full stop. 3 years ago, 7 seed. Full stop. Terrible start to the year. Jordan Love came on. They played great. Last year, I think there were some extraneous circumstances that led to them becoming a 7 seed.
Yes, but they made the worst of a bad situation. They lost 5 games in a row to end the season. They crapped the bed twice against their arch rival, allowing that team to win the division. Like, you're right. Losing Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft definitely kicks in the shin. But win a game in there. Don't blow 2 games in that mix. So, you have a point and I would validate that point more if it was they were 2-3. And it was tough. They lost every damn game without those guys. And if Jordan Love is who Packer fans think he's going to ascend to, at some point in those 5 games, he just puts on the Superman cape and just goes and wins them a game.
Yeah, but Jordan,
I'm not blaming him for the losses, but I am pointing out that he is not Superman. He's more Robin than Batman, and he's whoever Superman's sidekick is, doesn't really have one, than Superman.
Yeah, I mean, has Jordan Love been Superman enough? No. But Jordan Love didn't play in 2 of those games. Malik Willis played against the Ravens, the abysmal defensive effort. Derrick Henry ran all over the
Didn't the Ravens have, who was there? Was it Lamar? Or
it was,
I thought it was Huntley.
It was, Tyler Huntley, I think.
So that's
that's not,
I'm
just saying it's not on Love.
Okay.
And then you have the Clayton Tune Vikings debacle. I'd throw that game out.
Okay.
3 of those games, and I'll come up with an excuse for all of them.
Okay, what about the Bear game?
How about Romeo Doubs dropping an onside kick? How about that?
You're right. There's a million reasons, and Jordan Love isn't.
And Jordan Love got hurt. Again, Malik Willis came in overtime.
Jordan Love is not the reason they lost those games, but if Jordan Love was who Packer fans hope he's going to be, he would have won some of those games he played in. And it's a splitting of hairs. But I am not saying that Jordan Love nor the Green Bay Packers are not good. I'm just saying that outsourced expectations, Packer fans seem to assume that Jordan Love is going to take the next step into superstardom, into that elite window, and that means the Packers are going to take that step into that elite window, when I think they're just living in a world where maybe it can happen, maybe it won't. I could see them, I think it's more likely they miss the playoffs than it is they go to the Super Bowl.
That I strongly disagree with as well. I think, sure, Packers fans definitely lean optimistic, especially with the quarterback position after having 2 Hall of Famers back-to-back, and Jordan Love having the success he has had early on in his career. You sort of just assume that lineage is going to continue. And if you want to pin last year, even the wild card game against the Bears last season, Jordan Love played fantastic in that game. Sure, he didn't have the best second half in the world, but I guess if you want to pin that on him, you can.
But I'm saying that he is a good player, but that's the difference between Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, is that there's the but. Like, he had two great games, but then he had 2 mediocre games, or he had 2 great quarters, and in the second half, he didn't lose in the game. Like that, but that's the difference, because nobody is up here arguing that he is not a good quarterback. Without it, not.
Canty's arguing he's overhyped.
But overhyped, yes. If you're trying to sell him as anything more than like somewhere between the 8th and 12th best quarterback in the league, then I think you're overhyping him. Let's go out 844-770-3776. Let's go out to Brendan in Tulsa. Hey.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Jim, I was listening to your vacation story about your daughter's hooking that turtle.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, my dad's got a pond, and that happened to me a couple summers ago. We were out fishing, and I cast the bait out. The jig sunk for about 5 seconds, and then it jerked hard. So I set the hook, and as I'm reeling it in, I just see this giant cloud of mud. And I'm like, what the heck did I hook here?
Yeah, they don't wiggle much either like a fish would. It's like
straight on. They just accept it.
Yeah.
Right. And luckily for me, the hook caught right behind its neck on the shell. So I was able to just walk up, put my hand down, pin it, and, get the hook out, no problem. But, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more. But, I'm calling in because I have a question for you guys, and I've been thinking about this with the season coming up. What do you guys think the floor is for this team if everybody stays healthy? I mean, there's no injuries. Tucker comes back, and he's fine for the year. Even if Parsons doesn't come back till week 6 or 7, but he's healthy. Like, what is the floor for them? Because I think it's entirely possible that this team stays healthy but only wins 7 games because the offensive line stinks, the cornerback room is not very good at all, and Love and LaFleur struggle to figure out the new hierarchy of pass catchers instead of having just 5 guys that Love can trust on any given week. Like, I think that's entirely possible. I don't know if that'll happen, but as far as Jordan Love and LaFleur go, I'm so over the hype. Like, at this point, you got to prove to me that you guys are good by winning a division and going to the divisional round with a home game. I'm just so over year after year being told, how good analytically LaFleur and Love are, but then they end up being a 7 seed. Like, either go do it or not. But I'm really curious what you guys think. If the team is healthy, what the floor is, because that to me tells myself what people really think about this roster and Jordan overall.
Thanks for the call. And we're going to get into this a little bit later, and I think you bring up some good points of the red flags and green flags on this team. And when I look at teams, Riley, I look at red flags of like, what am I not comfortable with for my team, and how many are there? How many question marks? Because I kind of start to consider those red flags. We'll get to that a little bit later, but like he brought the defensive backs are far from proven or settled, and the offensive line is far from proven and settled. Both of those things can destroy a season.
Yeah, I'll give him that. And I totally understand Brandon in Tulsa. Love when you call into the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show as well. Looking forward to getting into that here soon. I totally understand the frustration with the offseason hype and Mina Kimes loving on Jordan Love when they haven't advanced in the playoffs in 2 years, and they haven't made it past the divisional round in God knows how many years. That's why my expectations for this team are make it to the NFC Championship game. LaFleur did it with Rodgers. Now's the time to do it with Love. The floor for this team, I want to say, I believe, is essentially last year, 9-8.
I just love that you said that now is the year of like, oh, why not? It's time for Jordan Love to be the next all-time great, because that's what you're talking about with Aaron Rodgers.
We're Packers fans. It's the Packers. I'm going to compare him to the predecessor.
That goes back. You're proving Canty's point of like, it's not, hey, LaFleur's pretty good and Jordan Love's pretty good. And I feel like we got the same shot the 49ers do of like, hey, Shanahan and Purdy, and you don't know what's going to go on, or Campbell and Goff, and you just kind of see what these plus quarterbacks and plus coaches can do. And no, you're like, it's time for LaFleur to just knuckle up and be Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love turning Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's about time. Like, that you're proving the point on the delusion, because I think Brendan and Tulsa has, like, this team on paper is worse than last year's team, at least as far as proven players. They have less proven players on the offensive line. They have less proven depth in the wide receiver room. They have less proven depth at running back. On the defensive line, they have less proven depth. They have linebacker, I guess we'll call that a wash. And then the secondary, I guess that's a wash too, as far as proven players. And that's why when you go into a season and you talk Super Bowl, when there's so many like, I don't know what'll happen at cornerback. I don't know if we'll be able to generate a pass rush outside of Micah Parsons. I don't know if we'll be able to keep Jordan Love upright. I don't know if Matthew Golden's truly going to take the next step, or what that next step. He might take the next step, which gets him to be a serviceable NFL player this year, because he was not a serviceable NFL player last year. It doesn't mean he's going to step into like peak Steve Smith or DJ Moore, like as I try to think of the smaller receivers. He could just step into like, oh, now he's a capable player. Christian Watson taking the next step could be like, oh, he's going to play 13 games this year. And so like those next steps have to be like leaps for the Packers to make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, but I'm trying to think of a counter argument. What teams don't have questions?
It's a conversation.
What teams don't have question marks heading into the season?
They all do. But I wonder, and I can't speak for every fan base or every fan, so I don't want to do that specifically. But, like, for me, I'm not going into this season with expectations of a Super Bowl. Could I see a possibility more than I did last year? Maybe last year it was like a 1% chance for my team to go to the Super Bowl. This year it's like, maybe it's 10. Like, I'm not, especially winning it, I'm not looking at it and saying, this team is flawless. Like, for my team to do it, the quarterback would have to turn into Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's going to happen this year. So, like, because there's a lot of question marks. All the question marks have to come up green instead of red. And so the Packers, in my opinion, have more question marks than they've had in many years past. It's just that Packer fans are checking them green.
Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with leaning optimistic when it comes to the Green Bay Packers.
There's not an issue with it.
And I'm acknowledging there are lots of question marks, and we'll get into the green and red flags. But Matt LaFleur, if you look at his track record, even with Jordan Love and incredibly young rosters who have also, the past 2 years, there have been plenty of question marks as well. He finds a way, at least in the regular season.
He finds a way to get them to the 7th seed.
Yeah. So why would I not expect the Packers to at least make the playoffs? And then we talk with the Brewers, every team bites at the apple. Right. It's the playoffs.
But you're already walking it back. You said NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
so
I still think
that's the poll question I want to put out there.
I still expect NFC Championship.
Do you agree with Riley, with his expectation the Packers will make the NFC Championship game? That's our Signing Unlimited poll question. Do you agree with Riley's expectation of the Packers going to the NFC Championship game, proving Chris Canty's point? Chime in 844-770-3776. That's the Carbos Talking text line. This is more. Do you agree with Riley that the Packers are going to go to the NFC Championship game? And again, it's not a matter of they're bad. It's not a matter of this can't happen. But in the play it out in all the different realms of, like, you know, the superhero movie with, like, all the scenarios, like
Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange.
This is not the most likely outcome. I'm not saying it's an impossible outcome.
No,
I'm just saying it's not.
When you have the Rams in the NFC, Seahawks are going to be really good. Obviously, it's not the most.
The division's going to be a pain in the ass.
Division's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But to say for Packers fans to expect to win the division, I don't think that's blowing expectations out of proportion.
Well, you said championship game, so that's what I want to see. Because
I am saying that.
To me, like, I think the Packers' expectations are, like, you should at least expect them to do what they've done the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the expectation you can fully believe in, and then beyond that, it's
I don't think it's ridiculous to say win 2 more games.
That's, again, we're just splitting hairs. That's a want as opposed to expect. And so, like, I'm expecting regression out of my team back from the 11 wins they had.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way the league goes. But you will not have regression in your workout goals or your health goals with our good friends at Carbon World Health. Ask them about hormone replacement treatment. You can ask them about GLP-1s, red light therapy, cryotherapy, and, of course, their great workout facility at their Madison location. And Brandon the Tulsa chimes in and says, just texted Hamilton. He said the floor is 14 wins. Matt Hamilton, also the poster child for delusion.
That's a little high.
So what I have here, though, is there's no delusion in how Carbon World Health can help you. So go to their Sun Prairie location, enjoy the med spa over there, or go to their Madison location, enjoy the cryotherapy and the great workout facilities at Carbon World Health.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
Support your team. Support these guys. Smack is going to win you a lot of games.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
At J&K Security Solutions, protecting your home or business is more than just a priority. It's what we do. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. Since 1987, J&K Security Solutions has been committed to providing Madison and southern Wisconsin with dependable security solutions. Whether it's security, fire, or the latest automation solutions, go to jksecurity.com to see how J&K can help keep your home or business secure. Get protected now at jksecurity.com.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Simple, affordable business technology solutions from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Listen to Bryce Clark, co-owner of Capital Lock, a local Madison business.
James Imaging Systems, they helped find the solution that worked for us, both the software and hardware solution paired together that makes things incredibly more efficient.
More efficiency. Does that mean you and your staff are saving time?
I would say between 20 to 40 hours a week.
That must make a real operational difference at Capital Lock.
Obviously, the more time we have to dedicate to other jobs or other things, it makes life so much easier.
Bryce, what's your advice to other local businesses?
First of all, you got to find the right partner.
Like James Imaging Systems?
Oh, absolutely. Very proactive, solutions-based, and obviously really friendly and great people to work with.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. That's jamesimaging.com.
Matt Hamilton here for Leinekugels, the craft beer that showcases a commitment to tradition and quality, founded in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. No matter where I'm at, on the ice, on my boat, or if I'm just watching the big game, I always have a Leine's in my hand. Whether it's the refreshing summer shandy, the smooth honey vice, or my personal favorite, the juicy peach, there's a delicious flavor for every moment. Pick it up wherever you get delicious beer, but remember, you gotta be 21 years or older to enjoy.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited with my brother and business partner, Eric Brown. Siding Unlimited is Madison's choice for siding, windows, roofing, and doors.
Siding Unlimited delivers on expectations because our experience, integrity, and craftsmanship come through on every project.
For new siding, windows, roofing, and doors, call 608-220-0005 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Chevy is called the heartbeat of America for a reason, and Silverado keeps its rhythm. You feel it in the Turbo Max engine with best-in-class standard torque, an available Z71 off-road package that keeps you rolling when the road turns rough, and the most functional truck bed with best-in-class cargo space. They're trucks that work as hard as you do, so you can do more of what you love without missing a beat.
See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Based on latest competitive information, excludes other GM vehicles.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Molly and Jim continues. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And get into the show, 844-770-3776. That's Carbus Talk text line. This is more. We are asking you, do you agree with Riley Jauch that the expectation for the Green Bay Packers is the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, we have a few YouTube commenters. It seems like our YouTube chat today specifically is full of Chicago Bears fans, or at least of folks who are not believers in the 2026 Green Bay Packers, which I understand. Windy, he burnt brat. They're classics. They're trying to think of the word that ends in stead, but regardless, they're the regulars. Not surprised. Windy he can't wait to watch this show in a few months after the annual Green Bay humiliation ritual, which last year, I think you could argue, if you're a Bears fan, definitely humiliation.
I will say it is, and look, these teams are not equal, but it is strange that when you just happen to look back and the Lions, Vikings, and Packers all have the same amount of wins last year.
Mm-hmm.
From where the Packers,
in the division?
Yes. But I think they all had 9 wins, didn't they?
Yes. I know the Vikings were 9-8. Yeah, I think you're correct. Yeah,
now,
the Lions had the tiebreaker. Yep.
The Packers are better than both those teams, but it's just, when it was all said and done, that's kind of shocking.
Mm-hmm. Well, if the Packers play their starters in the final week of the season against the Vikings,
there's mitigating circumstances. It's just one of those things where it's like, wow. It's just, it does encapsulate where the Packers started the season. Again, it's more of that. Like, again, the Packers are better than both of those teams. But it's strange that the season started with, like, oh my God, they might Micah Parsons, they might go to the Super Bowl, to 7 seed, 9 wins, and they lose to the Bears in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that it was a horrendous end to last season compared to where the expectations were at the start of the season.
So will you keep your your expectations are already high. So maybe that's
last year's Super Bowl went down to NFC Championship.
Did you learn anything from last year?
Yes. And
what was that?
That the Packers are a Super Bowl contender when Micah Parsons is on the field.
Okay.
When he is fully healthy, and Tucker Kraft. When everyone's healthy, The one game Tucker Kraft and Christian Watson played together, Pittsburgh Steelers game, Jordan Love's best game. Packers dominated. Micah Parsons, when he's healthy, he's a game wrecker. When the Packers have all their weapons and healthy, Jordan Love was injured for a couple of games last year too, which I think I tend to forget even as a Packers fan.
But like,
when everyone's healthy, they're great.
Is it worth pointing out? And again, this matters when you're going for NFC Championship game or division titles, things like that, because that makes the NFC Championship game easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair to call Christian Watson oft injured.
Yes, that is fair.
Jordan Love, at this point, you can kind of account for between quarters missed or full games missed, probably 2 games a year that he will miss.
You could. I would listen to that argument. Yes.
It's not injury prone. It's just how it's broken out. And again, honestly, that's pretty fair for an NFL quarterback. It's honest. I think it's pretty rare that these guys get to stay upright the entire year, especially when the offensive line is piecemealed. And then the other part here is Kraft. He's coming off of a major injury. So like you're probably, and he even said that like he's not ramped up full go, not on a pitch count until probably week 8. So that's at least something you're keeping an eye on. So all those, because there could be a random week where Tucker Kraft, like his knee's just not responding right, and the smart thing for the Packers to do, like, well, we're just going to sit you. And so like, when will all that be happening? And how often will that happen? Because those 3 things haven't happened a lot together because it's a rare combination to make.
I think that's a fair argument. But I don't think there's anything wrong with assuming that for the most part this season, with Christian Watson, who stayed healthy, once he came back, he was good to go. He was fine. Jordan Love, in his one game back, he played well against the Bears.
Yes.
In the divisional round, or in the wild card game.
Yep.
I'm not expecting Jordan Love to miss more than a game tops this year, hopefully when they're resting starters, at the end of the season. Tucker Kraft, I think that's fair. I'm hoping that he plays to the level we saw, which is all pro.
I think by the end of the year he'll be there.
Yeah. And that's where I think most of my optimism stems from. I think they have to ride the wave at the start of the year and tread water.
So, and I get what you're saying. You're right. That I look at a very simple math equation, and we'll take a break here, and we'll get to Wilde on the other side. But winning the division is the best way to give yourself the best chance to go to the NFC Championship game. We look at Micah Parsons. Let's say the Dallas game he returns. Okay, but just like Tucker Kraft talked about, that's probably not like pedal to the metal, no pitch count. So you got him. Tucker Kraft working his way back. Maybe by the Dallas game, he's off a pitch count.
Yep.
Zebach. He's probably on not a pitch count, but like he's coming off of a pretty major injury as well. So now you have like these regular season games in a really tough division matter. And then there's a war of attrition. Someone else is going to get hurt and miss time. It might not be as important, but let's be honest. If they lose a guard, that could be devastating. If they lose Jordan Morgan, that's devastating. He's not even that. He's not a proven player. So the wrong injury could derail this team.
Yes, but the wrong injury could derail anything.
But when you are trying to get to the NFC Championship game and you got arguably some of your best players coming back from three best players coming back from major injuries, they're not going to be 100% all ready to go. I think at the end of the year they could be clicking all cylinders, but at the end of the year that they might be fighting for the 7th seed again. And so like that's where it comes into like that's why I think the expectation is too high because this isn't. And I know you know this. This isn't Madden where they're like, "Oh, a new season, we're ready
Everyone's
to go."
Fresh.
Yeah, we can play
100% healthy.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was. We'd all love that. But like, those are other factors that we can talk to Wilde about. I just think matter in the regular season, which could then cut them short of winning the division title, which then hurts their chances of going to the NFC Championship game.
Yes, I think that's fair. Which is why I think, especially in that the start of the season, you have to win the games you're supposed to win, stay above water, and then by that week 6 through 8 threshold, when hopefully everyone is fully healthy or closer to fully healthy, then you make your run. Then you get hot and you go. Because we saw when the team is fully healthy, they are capable of being one of the best teams in the National Football League. So I think it's fair for a team that more than likely will get its best players healthier as the season goes on for NFC Championship to be a reasonable expectation.
All right, we'll talk with Jason Wilde about that. But look, your expectations can be incredibly high for my good friends at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Two great locations, family-owned, locally owned. They are a custom jeweler. Go see my good friends at Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Wilde up next.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim.
I will stand by this. Nothing will mean more to the state of Wisconsin than a Brewers World Series.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The News 3 Now First Warn Weather Team is certified for delivering the most accurate forecasts in the entire state of Wisconsin. Morning meteorologist Savannah Brito.
When you're making plans, the weather often has other plans.
Evening meteorologist Blaze Keller.
At home, at work, or on the go, when we know, you'll know.
Chief meteorologist Alex Harrington.
Our team has the experience you can count on and the accuracy you can trust.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather, keeping you ahead of the storms.
Hey, it's Molly Brown. And let's be honest, between work, kids, and everything else life throws at me, I'm always looking for a little extra energy. That's why I love ZOA Energy. It's made with natural ingredients, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, so I get that boost I need without the crash or jitters. Plus, there are tons of great flavors. It's vegan, gluten-free, and even low in sugar, so it fits right into my busy, health-conscious routine. So grab a ZOA Energy, fuel your body, focus your mind, and take on your day like a champ.
Dad, what do you do at work?
I help people protect what matters most. Hi, this is Jeffrey Beckman, owner at J&K Security Solutions. That's the mission behind J&K Security Solutions. Whether it's advanced surveillance, fire alarms, access control, or video monitoring, J&K helps businesses and families throughout southern Wisconsin stay secure.
Sounds pretty important.
It is. Visit jksecurity.com to learn more.
J&K Security Solutions, protecting what matters most in your life.
The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise. From our family to yours, roofing, windows, siding, gutters, and doors. Your solution-based company, community strong, and service that will please. Get a free estimate today. The Exteriors Company, built for Wisconsin, backed by expertise.
Ben Bruss here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
At Chalmers Jewelers, your jewelry never leaves our hands.
All repair work is done right here in-house by our 4 master goldsmiths, ensuring expert care, precision, and security every step of the way.
From ring sizing and stone replacement to restoring worn or damaged pieces, we bring new life to your most treasured jewelry.
Chalmers Jewelers,
where craftsmanship lives
and your memories are restored.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Corn dogs, demo derbies, rock and roll, funnel cakes, wild rides, and roaring tractors.
It's all happening at the Dodge County Fair, August 19th through the 23rd. Get ready for 5 epic days of food, fun, competition, live music, grandstand action, and family entertainment.
Purchase tickets in advance to save money and make entry into the fair faster. Season tickets are just $35 and can be purchased at most Dodge County banks, Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Juneau, Leroy Meats, and the Market in Beaver Dam. Or just $38 at DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com.
Don't miss a minute of the Dodge County Fair, August 19th through the 23rd.
So come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
Jason Wilde on Molly and Jim is brought to you by News 3 Now. Jason Wilde, the best green and gold coverage from the best in the business. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
Goody wouldn't have got him if he was 27. No.
He would have put him in a nursing home.
Correct.
35.
Good one. There you go. That's the better line. That was well done, Molly.
He doesn't root, he reports.
Fans are short for fanatics. It's media being too, I would say, unbiased or unemotional.
It's Jason Wilde on Molly and Jim.
We are thrilled to be joined by Jason Wilde on Molly and Jim. Riley Jauch filling in for Molly. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And Jason, I have a worry here. So Nola had an appointment, my youngest daughter, and it went long, so she just had to come to the office with me. But Riley, Owen, and Jason, she's actually, I think, looking more productive and less disruptive than I am in the office. Like,
I would agree.
She's just locked in on her audiobook.
She's got her headphones on.
Yeah, she's listening, I think, to Peter Pan in her audiobook. So I'm worried about getting, replaced by my daughter already because I think she is a better teammate than I am.
Well, we haven't replaced you with Riley or Owen, and they're roughly the same age as her.
That's
so
fair.
I think you're okay.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not going to add your ages together and get to my age. Speaking of Riley, though, Jason, Riley inadvertently proved Chris Canty's point because I asked him his expectation for the Packers this year, and it was what?
NFC Championship game. Make it to the game.
That's your expectation?
Yep.
Not your hope, your expectation?
Yeah.
So it's sad that Evan didn't call out Riley.
Yeah. Sorry, he didn't. I mean, I want to, first of all, thank Evan for not including me in that group. Because I am not in that group. I am not viewing this team through those green and gold colored glasses. Look, it'd be a hell of a story if they get there. You guys have heard me say this before. I think with the amount of time that Micah Parsons is going to miss, with the adjustment to a new defense, with Jonathan Gannon, with the fact that they have signed these extensions with guys, Tucker Kraft being the next one, the fact that Tucker Kraft will be a full year removed in 2027 from the knee injury, the fact that Micah Parsons will be a full year removed from that injury, the fact that Zach Bako-Biwele will be a full year removed from his knee injury. Now, obviously, you can't have a bunch of guys get hurt this season, but I've said I like them in 2027. I think they're a playoff team in 2026. Might win a playoff game. Maybe they'll win two and reach Riley's lofty expectations. But they are one of those teams that they're good. I'm not saying they're not going to be good, but it's going to be interesting to see if things fall their way, if they have good injury fortune, and then maybe they can be better than I'm expecting them to be. But I feel like they're a year away.
All right. Well, Jason.
All right. All right.
See, well, Jason touches on the injury side of things here. Because, Jason, my biggest thing, and you're kind of hitting on it, was that with your Micah Parsons, and Tucker Kraft kind of hinted at this, of hey, he's going to have a pitch count for a little bit. Micah Parsons will come back with one. So arguably your three best players, or three out of your four best players, are coming back from major injury that they won't be 100% to start. And to get to the NFC Championship game, you probably got to win the division, and you might get off to a slower start than you want because your players are working their way back. And that alone could nip an NFC Championship game in the bud.
And again, I don't love their offensive line right now.
You and me both.
Now, Aaron Banks took some 11-on-11 reps today for the first time, so congratulations. But at the same time, I don't know. I like the Jagger Burton story. But do I love the idea of a fifth-round rookie trying to handle all the blitzes and everything that Brian Flores can conjure up against him? No, I wouldn't think you should if you're a Packers fan, right? I mean, Tausch always tells the story about going out there for his first preseason game and the fact that he was going to be, blocking for Favre, and Mike Sherman saying, are we going to really protect a $100 million quarterback with you? And Tausch said, well, I sure hope so. And it turned out to be he was great. And maybe Jagger Burton has got a little Tausch in him, right? I mean, he's got a cheesy mustache, which I don't remember Tausch ever having. His rookie year, he had a babyface. But my point is that, and look, there's I'm not going to say 31 other cities, because there's definitely teams that don't have anything near the valid hope that Riley has for his team. But like, there's probably another 15 or 16 NFL cities that can say the same thing, right? Hey, things fall our way, we got a pretty good team, and we could be a dangerous team, right? But again, that's why, and I love the fact, and I always bring this up even though I wasn't there, I feel like we need to have Dorsey back on the show again in order to retell the story himself as opposed to Tausch relaying it. But, he was at that Tellurian golf outing, the charity thing that Tausch does every year in the Dells, and somebody asked a question about the Packers and the Super Bowl, and it sounds to me like Dorsey kind of tore him a new one. Do you know how freaking hard it is to do that? And there's a guy who played in 3 Super Bowls, right? 2 with the Packers and 1 with the Eagles. So, it's really hard, and things have to go your way. And there's no doubt that last year, in my mind, if they would have gotten all the breaks and stayed healthy instead of having things pretty much always go against them, whether it was injuries or Romeo Doubs muffing an onside kick or whatever else, that they would have played in Seattle in the NFC Championship game. Would they have won? I don't know. Any given Sunday, right? But they had what it took, but they didn't get the bounces. They didn't get the injury breaks. And there's a bunch of teams that I'm sure whatever version it is of Riley Jauch and Jim Rutledge in their city are having the same conversation, and now hoping that this year's the year that it works out for them. But to have that as your expectation, that's great. I'm glad that's your hope, but that is not what I'm expecting from this team this year.
Yeah, Jason. Sadler of Rich Eisen fame texted me saying I should have saved my take for the Wilde and Tausch Bold-a-thon. So maybe I'll.
Do you want to share
throw
Sadler's season prediction with Wilde in case he doesn't know it? That he made on Rich Eisen's show?
Did you hear that, Jason?
I got to be honest with you. I barely listen to my own show.
Well, what made waves was Sadler
a regular on
predicting,
ESPN Wisconsin
yes,
shows. Yep.
Yes,
regular caller.
Yep, making the I think bolder prediction than the Packers making the NFC Championship game, and that the Packers would tie not once but twice this season. I believe he had the Packers finishing at 9-6-2 to end the season.
That's look. None of us is ever going to top Tausch's Kissin' Cousins headline. I think that they were asking me for our 10-year anniversary, our most memorable moments, which I said, or they said best moments. I said I don't know about best moments, but I think we should do memorable ones because memorable isn't always best. Mm-hmm. As we found when we got to have Cindy Crawford on a month into our show, and it was the biggest train wreck in American radio history. But look, that's a great prediction for him. Sadler is a fan, right? And again, even though I have people coming at me on Twitter questioning my journalistic integrity because I think that there was more to what Keyshawn Nixon said than just the punishment quote. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to call it like I see it. And when it comes to Keyshawn Nixon, he's not as good as a bunch of corners that I've covered in my career, whether it's Tramon Williams or obviously Charles Woodson or obviously Al Harris or Craig Newsome or Doug Evans. What pisses me off is I've done this a long time. I've seen a lot of great players. I'm lucky. I've covered a pretty awesome era. Last night, for some reason, True TV was running some of the NFL films, after the season ends, they do the team video, and they were doing a bunch of Super Bowl winners. So the 96 Packers one was on, and because I'm an old person, I still have cable and I flip channels. And so I stopped on it, and the girls they just gotten back from practice, and I'm like, you guys know this is the first season I covered? And we sat and watched it. And it was hey, they might think that once upon a time their dad was a little bit cool, right?
Yeah.
But that team was stacked, and they were able to survive, despite a bunch of injuries to their wide receivers and whatever else. But they had guys that could cover, and the 2010 team had guys that can cover. Do I think Keyshawn Nixon is as good as them? I don't. Do I still think today he is their best corner? Yes. And that's not because I like him or because he's nice to me. It's my job to call it like I see it. And this idea that, if people listened to what LaFleur and Goody said, again, you have to be a little bit nuanced. But like today, if they were really pissed at him or they were really trying to get rid of him, they don't answer the questions the way they did today about him. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to be on this team next year, because I don't think he's going to. But this idea that they're going to move on from him with what they have a corner right now, I don't see it. And if I'm wrong, then I will report the story when they, cut him or trade him to, Los Angeles, the Chargers, or whatever else. But I still think he's going to be their opening day starter, and Cisse is going to be the other guy. And they're going to probably have a hard time containing Justin Jefferson when they do that.
Jason, sticking with the defense here, you mentioned Twitter. I was scrolling through your Twitter, and for the record, I don't think you look like a schmuck in Matt Schneidman's video of Zaire Franklin answering your question.
No. Can't play that on the radio, by the way.
No, he uses a couple choice words in there. But looking at Zaire Franklin, linebacker, not the area of most concern for the Packers defense, but he is a veteran. What, in your mind, does Zaire Franklin bring to this Packers defense?
Well, he certainly brings experience, and really good experience, right? I mean, let's remember, 2024, he was a second-team All-Pro. At the same time, last year, at the trade deadline, there was talk about the Packers acquire him, right? I mean, the Colts were looking to move him, even though they had just signed him to an extension after that All-Pro season. I mean, guys can fall off the table. Now, let me be clear. As you can plainly see in that video with the McDreamy look that I'm giving him, I mean, that answer was freaking awesome. It was my question, and anytime you get that kind of answer, you're pretty darn happy. But no matter how much I like him, he's got to produce. And if he looks old and washed and he doesn't play well, which I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but we have to acknowledge that it can be the case, right? Guys at age 30, this is why Goody is such an ageist, because sometimes guys fall off the table. Other times they don't. And whatever he ends up being is going to be going a long way into deciding how good this defense will be. So I think he's a huge part. Obviously, he had an interception today off of a deflection by Edgerrin Cooper. And the fact of the matter is Edgerrin Cooper has to go back to being a playmaker, which by his own admission, he was not last season.
Jason, I kind of going back, it's been a while, and I don't mean that like in a mean way, but
it's been a while.
But when you've been when you were a fan, and that song might have been playing the last time you kind of thought about this, but there's a specific player I want to get to that I got Riley a jersey from up north. That this player holds a place in my heart because he represented to me the idea that winning a Heisman Trophy has no effect on if you're going to be good in the NFL or not. And this player, for me, was the poster child for that. Was there someone for you where you're like, I'm shocked they're not good in the NFL. They were the best player in college football.
Well, who's the player? Ron Dane?
No, it's a former Packer.
Desmond Howard?
No, so I'll ask you this. I don't know if you overlapped with him or not. It was Ty Detmer.
What are you? Oh, my goodness, Ty Detmer.
So I got a old Ty Detmer jersey for $5 up north for Riley.
It's pretty sick.
And Riley likes to wear the most random things, so I'm super proud of it. So I had two questions. One, did you kind of cross paths with Ty or not? And then two, like, was there a player, like, when you were growing up watching college football, you were just blown away that, like, convinced they were going to be good in the NFL, and they were nowhere close to good?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like the last time I was a fan while also trying to be a quote-unquote journalist was my senior year at Wisconsin when they were in the Rose Bowl. I mean, I had covered, I'm lucky. I got to start covering Madison area high schools in like 1992. So I've learned how to be a journalist from then on. And quite frankly, Barry Alvarez his first year was my freshman year, and they were terrible. And I vowed never to sit in the student section again because I just kept getting pelted with those stupid plastic cups they would throw. And so if I'm going back to the guys that I was a fan of, the Heisman Trophy winner that I thought was going to be a great player in the NFL that I loved to watch play in college was Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
And I was right about him.
Were.
It's just that his career was shortened the way it was. But he was, I remember, because obviously we didn't have quite the same menu of games to get to watch, but Auburn would be on ESPN on occasion. Certainly the SEC's TV package when I was young was not what it is now. But, I just remember watching him go, holy cow. And then, of course, I started playing with him as a Raider in Tecmo Bowl, and I was unstoppable. But he was special now. I don't know. You thought Detmer was going to be great?
I was 13,
those
14.
BYU guys always put up big numbers.
Jim McMahon, right? Steve Young.
Who was it? Robbie Bosco. It's another BYU quarterback who put up insane numbers.
This was here Gino Torretta and Tommy. Oh God, what was his name? Tommy something from Houston. There was just a whole bunch of guys who were great in Andre Ware were great in college.
Andre Ware.
Yeah. Detroit drafted a lot of them. Riley. And the Bears. Rick Meyer played for the Bears. Notre Dame guy.
He played for the Packers too.
I didn't even know that. See.
They traded him because they were so happy with Matt Hasselbeck. Mr. August, as I coined him. So, yeah, it was he still talks about the fact that him waking up at I don't know if they were at the Concourse Hotel or the Edgewater, but when the Packers played in Madison at Camp Randall, and he woke up and saw the State Journal, and the headline was Mr. August, he still brings that up to this day. And, by the way, I was right on him, too. I'm not right on everybody, but I was right on that guy, too. He turned out to be a pretty damn good football player, that's for sure.
60% of the time, Jason Wilde's right every
100%
time.
100% of the time.
Exactly. Good reference.
Jason, thank you so much for the time.
All right, guys. Enjoy the youth movement in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. It's about time we brought in some more young talent.
Yes, this old aging talent needs to get put out to pasture. Thanks, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. We'll continue the conversation next.
I never thought I'd have to design a second wedding ring, but after losing my original, that's exactly where I found myself. Hey, it's Molly Brown, and Jim at Condon Jewelers made the whole experience feel special instead of stressful. I got to sit down with Jim, talk through what I loved about my old ring, what I wanted to do differently, and actually be a part of designing something that felt like me. And now I absolutely love my new ring. It's beautiful, it's personal, and there's a story behind it. If you're looking for something that feels completely your own, Jim at Condon Jewelers is the person I'd trust to help you create it.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
I guess if you're a foot doctor, would you get Footman?
No, because I think, you want me to send you pictures? Are you going to pay me?
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by the ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Available in the Apple and Android app stores. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. I asked Wisconsin head coach Luke Fickell about breaking up a small fight at practice on Friday, and he said those tussles are actually what make him feel better about this year's squad.
If we don't have conflict, then I do wonder, do we also have the discipline to be able to handle those moments and move on? And that's where I feel a lot better. I keep saying this, I feel better about where we are. There's a competitive spirit to that makes you feel better. There's a leadership part of that makes you feel better. And that's where we're in a different place. Guys are not going to allow the culture of acceptance in whatever it is that we're doing.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't play games. Just straightforward pricing, premium quality, and trusted Pella certified installation. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Bryce Clark is co-owner of Capital Lock, a growing business here in Madison. They implemented a workflow automation solution from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
We use DocuWare. It's a document imaging software, helps capture basically all the documents that we have.
Such as?
We primarily use it for accounts payable and accounts receivable, pretty much anything relating to our sales or payments side of accounting.
And Bryce, the impact of the DocuWare software solution from James Imaging Systems?
It's nice that we can scan in a document and now anybody can just look up that document number and we can find that piece of information.
The overall business benefit for Capital Lock?
It's made us wildly more efficient, especially me.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
I love the group. I love the guys we got. We've been together for a couple years now. It's not our first rodeo together.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're talking about practice situations.
That's the mindset. That's the goal for us, is to be able to go out there and finish.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Exciting news for Packers fans over the weekend as tight end Tucker Kraft returned to 11-on-11 activity at training camp just over 9 months after tearing his ACL last season. Kraft is entering the final year of his contract and is expected to sign an extension some point this offseason with the Packers. ESPN NFL insider Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee Show.
He's healthy. He's awesome. I don't think anybody would say he's not deserving of a huge contract. He is a great player. What's going to be interesting is how far the tight end market jumps.
Packers back to work Friday in Denver against the Broncos for preseason game number 2.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
All the biggest voices, all in one place. The Yingling Legends Line. Exclusive insight from Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and Game Changers, all on the Yingling Legends Line.
Brian Braun, I appreciate you joining us here on Kyle and Brust.
But we just wanted to have fun. Baseball's a game of failure and adversity. It's such a long season. You want to find ways to enjoy the success when you have good moments.
The Yingling Legends Line. Crack open a Yingling lager and raise a toast to an American tradition. D.G. Yingling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly. Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 18th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Seattle Mariners.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 18th at 6:40 on WISC TV in Madison, or check your local listings to watch the game.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Molly and Jim continues on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app as well. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbon Stock text line. List is more. Riley, before we flip to the other side, what stood out to you from our good friend Jason Wilde?
Biggest thing that I took away is that Jason Wilde expects the Packers to be a playoff team in 2026. Therefore, he's the most measured person I know when it comes to setting the temperature for where Packers fans should be. He's so good at splitting the middle between too high, too low. So I think if Jason Wilde, despite all of the potential red flags the Packers have, despite all of the question marks heading into this season, if he expects the Packers to be a playoff team, sorry, I don't think it's ridiculous to expect them to win 2 playoff games and make it to the NFC Championship game. I don't disagree that they are in the middle of a large swath of teams. I think the only 2 teams I really I'd have at the top of the heap are the Rams and the Seahawks. Yes, they're in a large jumble with a lot of other teams. I just don't think it's a totally unreasonable expectation that they make it to the NFC Championship game.
I think the word expectation is the word that leads into what Chris Canty said earlier as far as too much hype from Packer fans or on ESPN Wisconsin, as Evan Cohen pointed out.
But also, we're Packers fans. Shouldn't our natural expectation for our team be higher?
I think there's a difference between hope and expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for the Badgers, I expect 7 or 8 wins.
Mm-hmm. I'd
Do
say
I
8 wins.
hope they could pull off Notre Dame victory or look way better than we're expecting? Yeah, I hope that's a thing. But if I'm looking at the most likely outcome, my expectation is 7 to 8 wins. And if it's less than that, I think, for example, Fickle has to go. If it's more than that, we need to have a conversation about maybe this team is finally on the right track. For the Packers, my expectation is somewhere between 9 and 11 wins. Mm-hmm. I don't think that gets in the division, so then my expectation would not be the NFC Championship game. But I do think they're a playoff caliber team. But I think there's 3 playoff caliber teams in the North, and only 2 might go. I mean, all 3 could go. So that's where it gets a little bit trickier on the other side. If the Packers could win 10 games, be a hell of a team, and still get the wrong tiebreaker, and they're out. So we'll go through some red flags and green flags on the other side. But no matter what, everyone's a winner by going to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, because that's where winners go.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim.
Why, Johnny, I'm sorry. You may go now.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, it's Molly Brown. And let's be honest, between work, kids, and everything else life throws at me, I'm always looking for a little extra energy. That's why I love ZOA Energy. It's made with natural ingredients, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, so I get that boost I need without the crash or jitters. Plus, there are tons of great flavors. It's vegan, gluten-free, and even low in sugar, so it fits right into my busy, health-conscious routine. So grab a ZOA Energy, fuel your body, focus your mind, and take on your day like a champ.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. This is Owen Dimple with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Wisconsin Badgers Volleyball on ESPN Madison. The regular season starts with the AVCA First Serve Showcase at Pfizer Forum. 6th-ranked Wisconsin opens against 3rd-ranked Kentucky in a Final Four rematch from last season. Coverage begins Friday night at 7:30 on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Green Bay Packers began another week of practice with noise continuing around Keyshawn Nixon's status as a starting cornerback for the Packers. Here's Packers head coach Matt LaFleur speaking on his relationship with Nixon and having healthy competition in the cornerback room.
He's been awesome since the day he's been here, and I'm not going to micromanage what everybody says, and if he feels a certain type of way, I mean, it is what it is, but I do think that it's a benefit to the team to have people that you feel are capable to go in there and play. Like I said, whether it's at corner, it's the offensive line, I mean, really every spot is, you better come to compete each and every day if you want to be out there.
Brewers take on the Mariners at 6:40. Right here on 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Jim Rutledge.
I'm sorry, you are not serious about winning football games and winning a Super Bowl and going deep into the playoffs if you don't have a kicker.
Molly Brown.
You should be going further than getting a 7 seed and not winning a playoff game. That is a fact. You should be getting further with this team that you have.
Welcome to Wisconsin's afternoon hangout.
BS say that Jordan Love's the 10th best quarterback.
I'm not feeding into you talking about something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It does have something to do
Go
with
for it.
Best quarterback.
But I literally agreed with you.
Okay,
but here's the thing. I agreed with you saying that Jordan Love is the one holding them back.
Yes.
Move on.
All right. So.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You're feisty today. All
no,
right.
I'm just telling you.
This is Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
It's good to hear you're still a positive person after working with Jim for as long as you have.
Alongside Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
Molly and Jim continues on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream and the ESPN Wisconsin app. We are presented by Coors Light, so the mountains are always blue, and sometimes we are chill. Riley, you and I have been pretty chill.
I'd say so.
Yeah, despite your, I don't know, I don't want to say sickening optimism, but it is sometimes confusing optimism.
It's funny, because I don't feel my optimism for the Green Bay Packers is usually as high as the Wisconsin Badgers. I feel I've just been conditioned as a Packers fan, and I think this is a lot of Packers fans. I just expect lots of success. So it's not that I'm absurdly high on this team. I just genuinely think they're going to be really good, and that's usually how it turns out.
All right. Well, I want to play a little game here that you have set the expectation. A good Packers season. The expectation for the Packers season is NFC Championship game.
Yes.
I want to throw out, and we're going to have this conversation right now, some red flags and some green flags for the Green Bay Packers. You can chime in 844-770-3776. That's Carbos Talk text line. List is more. We're going to do ours, but if you got some good cases out there, you can hop in and you can call in too with yours. So I want to start with some green flags. I'll share my green flag.
Okay.
My green flag is Jordan Love. We know the floor and the ceiling can be debated, but we know what the floor is going to be, and the floor is that he is, at worst, the 12th best quarterback in the league, and he could climb from there. I think he'll finish up 9th, 10th best quarterback in the league this year. And I think knowing his floor, regardless of his ceiling, his floor is high enough that he's already proven as a quarterback you can win games with.
Yep, I would totally agree. My number one green flag for the Green Bay Packers was also Jordan Love. Like you said, I think at worst he's the 12th best quarterback in the NFL. This year I hope to see him get up towards that 6th, 5th-ish quarterback in the NFL. I mean, last year, 66% completion percentage, 3,300 yards, not tons of touchdowns, but only 6 interceptions, 101.2 passer rating. I'm really high on Jordan Love. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to have a fantastic season.
Yeah, he's a very good quarterback. The next one I have here is the receiving room has defined roles. Now, there could be a red flag in there of like what's Golden going to be, but if you just take the glass half full, it's Watson, it's Reed, it's Golden, and obviously Tucker Kraft on the tight end thing. But you know what you're doing out there. You know who those guys are going to be. They're going to get the reps. They're going to get the camaraderie, the timing with Jordan Love, and you're going to know what to get out of those guys. And they're gambling on these 3 guys are going to stay healthy. And if they do, you're going to have a receiving unit with Jordan Love that's going to be pretty locked in.
I like that. My second green flag is the supporting cast on the defense has improved. They added veteran leadership. I asked Jason about Zaire Franklin. I really like him in that linebacking core. Mostly, I mean, Jason said a couple years ago he's an all-pro. That's amazing. I like the fact that he has been around the block before. What has been the biggest issue with Matt LaFleur-led teams, and I'm sort of spoiling a red flag here, it's finishing games. And who helps you finish games? Veterans. Javon Hargrave, Zaire Franklin. I think they're going to play a massive, massive role in steadying the defense until Micah Parsons gets back. So that's my number 2 green flag.
So my next green flag for the Green Bay Packers is getting Tucker Kraft back on the field. That, to me, is going to unlock the offense. And I'm not saying it's a red flag. I'm going to give one, but there's literally no other tight ends currently that can say they can play in the NFL.
Believe in Luke Musgrave?
Well, he's not even healthy right now. So, I mean, like, there's
Josh Wilde?
Yeah,
Come on.
I mean, like, they're going to they have to go against the grain of what a lot of NFL offenses are doing because they just don't even have the personnel to run. Even a 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, let alone a 13 personnel, which is becoming more and more in vogue in the NFL. So Tucker Kraft getting back on the field is important for 2 parts. 1, they now have a legitimate NFL starter, and I think Tucker Kraft, when healthy, is a top 5 tight end.
Mm-hmm. That was in the same vein as my 3rd green flag. Tucker Kraft coming back to start the season, then Micah Parsons coming back, ideally by week 6, which if you want to spin that into a red flag that he's going to miss the first 5 games of the season at minimum, fair. But I think the fact that he will be there for most of the season this year is going to be absolutely massive for the Green Bay Packers. And having him at the end of the season, heading into the playoffs, and what I expect to be a long postseason run, is going to be absolutely critical for the success of the Green Bay Packers, and I think it is a major green flag.
All right, red flags here. So the red flag that I have is who the hell's rushing the passer outside of Micah Parsons, and who's rushing the passer until Micah Parsons gets back?
Lucas Van Ness legacy season. That's what I got.
Because it's honestly a question of can the Packers, to your point, can they afford to survive and just survive without Parsons on defense?
Yeah, it's going to be a tall task.
All right, what you have a red flag there?
Secondary is my number one red flag. I don't like having to rely on Keyshawn Nixon, a rookie, and Brandon Cisse. Despite all the good things we've heard, Benjamin St. Juste, a reserve from where he was coming from, the Chargers last year. That doesn't give me tons of room for optimism in a passing league when you're facing Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison week 1. I don't really like that. I'd like to see that short up, but we're not going to see it short up unless they all really elevate their play. So that makes me pretty nervous.
All right, I would say the offensive line. I'm not comfortable with it. All those things you talked about with Tucker Kraft and the wide receivers and Jordan Love and all those sorts of things, they don't matter if you can't block. So I would say the offensive line is a major. So basically, the trenches are a red flag for the Packers.
Yep, at least on the defense side for the first 5 games of the season. Offensive line was also my second red flag.
All righty. Then the other one here is I have just the running back room because it's Jacobs or bust right now. I'm not saying Lloyd won't be good, and Brooks he's a situational player. So there is nothing behind Jacobs. And if I'm a fan, my ideal world is I want 2 running backs because Jacobs is getting closer to the guy that needs a complement. And the best teams running the football in the NFL, you look at Detroit, they had 2 backs. And Chicago had 2 backs. Neither one of them, for Chicago, neither one of their backs are as good as Josh Jacobs, but the 2 together created a 2-headed monster. I think the Packers really need Lloyd to pop, but my red flag is they're putting too much on Lloyd.
That's fair. I want to be a Marshawn Lloyd truther, a Marshawn Lloyd believer, but I need to see him for at least 1 full regular season game without some limb
and how much
or organ
rust
getting
does he have?
shattered.
Right, and how much rust does he have? I mean, it's been 2 years since this guy has played football. And so as much as he was a prospect, I really liked him as a prospect. Yeah. I just don't know.
Yeah, I think that is an incredibly valid third red flag. I believe I took your first one as my third. Pass rush until Micah returns.
Okay.
Those first 5 weeks, I don't know where. We're really going to see, we're going to learn a lot about Jonathan Gannon and his creativity as a defensive schemer in those first 5 weeks. How is he able to generate a pass rush with a weak secondary without the second best pass rusher in the National Football League? And no one even remotely close to that level on the Packers roster behind him. Jonathan Gannon's going to have to get in his bag those first 5 weeks. And again, I believe in Jonathan Gannon, but we're going to need to see it. And we're going to need to see Lucas Van Ness, those linebackers, Edgerrin Cooper become a playmaker, like Jason said, for them to be successful.
Do you have belief in Gannon, or is it because you have no other choice but to believe in Gannon?
Probably the latter of the two. I haven't seen enough. I'll be honest, I don't really know what Jonathan Gannon's defense looked like when it was super successful in Philadelphia. I know they had lots of talent.
Of good, proven players.
Lots of talent on those Eagles defenses. So I can't speak on how strong of a mind Jonathan Gannon has. So I want to see it. I want to see it week 1. I believe in him, but I think you hit it there, Owen. I don't have a choice but to believe in Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah, and I don't have a guess to if he's good or not. I mean, I really don't. He's going to be aggressive, which can work out well, but if you're aggressive against Jared Goff and it's blocked, you're cooked.
Yes.
If you're aggressive against, hell, even Kyler Murray.
If he's consistently getting out of the pocket, and Justin Jefferson has time to create back there, that will not bode well.
If you're aggressive against Caleb and you don't get home, that's going to lead to some Luther Burden or some Colson Loveland running down the field. So aggressive, he has to be early on with no Micah Parsons. But I have no idea what Gannon's going to be.
And you need Herculean jumps from players like Lucas Van Ness. I love hearing that Micah Parsons is high on him. That gives me more confidence in him. But, man, there is not much tape to suggest that Lucas Van Ness is going to become a stud, 15-sack sort of player in those first few weeks.
I guess the bar is be as good as Rashawn Gary.
Which is not a high bar.
A hustling Rashawn Gary, I guess. So at least there's that.
Rashawn Gary with a high motor and strong effort. I'd be fine with that.
I think you can get that out of Van Ness. J&K Security Solutions, they protect your home or business from anywhere in the world. They can help you with commercial security protection, commercial fire protection, and home security. So reach out to my good friends at J&K Security Solutions.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited with my brother and business partner, Eric Brown. Siding Unlimited is Madison's choice for siding, windows, roofing, and doors.
Siding Unlimited delivers on expectations because our experience, integrity, and craftsmanship come through on every project.
For new siding, windows, roofing, and doors, call 608-220-0005 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Simple, affordable business technology solutions from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Listen to Bryce Clark, co-owner of Capital Lock, a local Madison business.
James Imaging Systems, they helped find the solution that worked for us, both the software and hardware solution paired together that makes things incredibly more efficient.
More efficiency. Does that mean you and your staff are saving time?
I would say between 20 to 40 hours a week.
That must make a real operational difference at Capital Lock.
Obviously, the more time we have to dedicate to other jobs or other things, it makes life so much easier.
Bryce, what's your advice to other local businesses?
First of all, you got to find the right partner.
Like James Imaging Systems?
Oh, absolutely. Very proactive, solutions-based, and obviously really friendly and great people to work with.
AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. That's jamesimaging.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
My dad says locks and cameras help protect buildings, but security is really about protecting people.
Hi, this is Jeffrey Beckman, owner at J&K Security Solutions. Protecting people is at the heart of everything we do. From fire alarms and surveillance systems to access control and intelligent video monitoring, J&K has helped keep homes and businesses safe across southern Wisconsin since 1987. Visit jksecurity.com.
J&K Security Solutions. Security with a personal touch.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Mark Toscher here, and 25 years later, we still climb so they are never forgotten. Join the Green Bay Metro Fire Department and Pierce Manufacturing for the 14th annual 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb, Saturday, September 12th at Lambeau Field. Climb at your own pace while carrying the name and photo of one of the 343 fallen firefighters. It's not about how fast you climb, it's about why you climb. All funds raised benefit the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation. Register or donate at piercemfg.com/climb.
You're listening to Molly and Jim, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Molly and Jim continues on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. That's the Carbo Stock text line. List is more. We are asking you, do you agree with Riley that the expectations for the Green Bay Packers are, I guess, NFC Championship game or bust?
I have high expectations for my Green Bay Packers.
All right. You can chime in on that. I want to switch the conversation here to Brewers baseball, as we are the home for Brewers baseball. They actually take on the Mariners tonight, 6:05 pregame, 6:40 first pitch. Mariners hapless is probably a word for them.
Yeah, I want to say I was listening on Sunday night, and they were the Sunday night baseball game. I think they were playing the Giants, and they beat them.
The Astros.
Astros, that's who it was. They beat the Astros. But, yeah, they have had an insane regression this year. Cal Raleigh has been awful after having a near MVP caliber campaign last year. It's kind of been crazy.
Yeah, it is. I think he's hitting below the Mendoza line.
It's bad.
It is really bad. I'm not sure what happened there. But the Brewers are coming off. They lost 2 or 3 to San Diego, but they took 3 or 4.
They got swept by San Diego.
That's right. So they got swept by San Diego and then won 3 out of 4 against the Dodgers. So mixed bag. Obviously, beating the Dodgers in LA is big. But San Diego is a team that is going to possibly be a team the Brewers will face in the playoffs. But let's just be honest. The Brewers, I would imagine, have 2 teams on their radar as far as fans specifically who they want to face in the playoffs. And I don't want to talk about early rounds or whatever. I want to ask you, with the World Series on the line, so the NL Championship Series, a 7-game series, would you rather see the Los Angeles Dodgers or the Chicago Cubs?
All right. As contrarian as this is going to sound, that is not my goal here. This is genuinely how I feel. The Brewers beat the Cubs last year. Would they have a better chance at beating the Cubs this year in a 7-game series? Yes, 100%. Would it feel amazing to eliminate the Cubs again? Yeah, I would love that. However, I want the Brewers to beat the Dodgers. I want the Brewers to be the team to topple the giant, to slay the dragon, to get the monkey off their back, and to go to their first World Series since 1982. Is it going to be a more difficult task than beating the Chicago Cubs? Yes. Would it be easier if LA was just eliminated beforehand and the Brewers had an easier path, and then who cares? No one cares if you win a World Series. Yes, I totally agree with that. But I want this Brewers team to exact revenge. I want them to be able to buck the narrative that a small market team with a cheap owner can't do it. I want them to be able to buck the narrative that the way the Brewers do things, that just doesn't work in the playoffs. It's great for the regular season. It's great for a summer of fun, but it just doesn't work. And maybe we'll get to the postseason and it won't work again. They'll lose to the Dodgers in 6 or 7 games this year in the NLCS, sure. But I want the Brewers to be the team that defeats the mighty Los Angeles Dodgers, that thwarts a three-peat, and then goes on and wins the World Series. That's where I stand on it.
Owen, where are you sitting on this?
The way I look at it now is that the Cubs are on the same level of top of mindset as the Dodgers for the Brewers. Of course, you're going to think as a Brewer player, coach, fan, Cubs are your number one rival. What the Dodgers have done to the Brewers lately in their most recent playoffs, and it feels like the Dodgers are becoming a rival to the Brewers, not necessarily as like a fan rivalry like Packers and Bears, but there is that rivalry. I think that the Brewers are trying to, okay, this is the team that has got the best of us. We need to attack them. And that is the same mentality that you usually have with your top in-division rival. like the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, and I think that's a good mentality to have in the playoffs. Like, we want this team. We want them. We want to beat them. I think that, I don't know if it necessarily gives you an edge, but that's the attitude I want the Milwaukee Brewers to have heading into a postseason series. I don't want them to face the Cubs, and obviously there'd be tons of juice if the Cubs came to town, or if that was the NLCS. But I think it would be a little different playing against the Dodgers.
There's more juice if they play the Cubs.
I mean, yes.
Because the stakes are higher. The
Yes.
Brewers are because here's the other part of it. The Brewers are likely, I would imagine, going to win the division. Two parts, they're the better team. And the other part of it is I don't think Chicago is going to expend the energy to try to come back from 4.5. It doesn't mean they're not going to not try. It just means that all things equal, you give Dansby Swanson a couple extra days off while he comes back from the IL. Like you're going to lean on the side because they have such a large lead in the wild card to be the number one wild card team. I think they're going to err on the side of be healthy and ready for the playoffs than burn out the entire wick of their candle trying to win the division, probably to come up short. So I think those two things combined, the Brewers being the better team overall and the Cubs likely not having that as their goal because it just would burn a lot of bandwidth to actually overtake the Brewers, even if they can. It's not a guarantee they could. So I think they're going to manage more on the idea of like, similar to how the Brewers are going to manage. Like, let's just make sure that we are healthy and rotation's in the right spot and our guys are feeling good going into the playoffs as opposed to trying to, hold on to the 1 seed or any of that. I think the Brewers and the Cubs will be managing differently. But when you get to this time of year, the Cubs, and I said this earlier, they've gotten closer to the Brewers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cubs, if you're a Brewers fan, despite the weight of a loss, if it was there, you want to see the Cubs. Because, one, I think the highs are still higher, beating Council and the Cubs again,
I mean,
especially denying them a World
amazing.
Series as you go to the World Series. The Dodgers, the biggest thing is you have this built-in excuse, though. Like, if you lose, it's, they're the big bad Dodgers. You don't have any of that with the Cubs.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, but you don't have that with the Cubs. So I think for baseball reasons and for juice reasons, the answer should be the Cubs. And for me, I don't have the juice on the other side. If the Brewers beat the Cubs, I'll be salty for a day or two, but then I want them to go on to win the World Series. I don't have ill will towards the Brewers. If they go do it, good on them. But I don't think that's the case for most Brewer fans.
Yeah, no, it would be significantly more devastating if after beating the Cubs last year in the NLDS, flying the L flag and everything, Cubs come back and beat the Brewers in the NLCS. Oh my gosh, I would not be able to use Twitter for until next October.
Riley, would you feel the same way as you did watching the Packers lose to the Bears in the wild card?
It'd be worse.
It would be worse.
It'd be worse.
Why?
Because, again, I've tiered my teams here in Wisconsin sports fandom. I go Badgers, Brewers, Packers. It's not that I don't love the Packers, and then Bucks following. It's not that I don't love the Bucks or the Packers. It's that for me, I just care more intensely and more passionately about the Badgers and Brewers. So, and I also, I have too many Cubs friends that would make my life absolutely miserable if
you might
the
be
Cubs,
sitting next to one too.
I know,
but I honestly,
even though he's a bigger Bears fan than a Cubs fan.
I honestly don't know. Obviously, last year didn't happen. I don't think I would make it miserable because on the flip side of it is the Bears are the ones that I have emotion about. The rest of them, Bucks, Badgers, and obviously the Cubs, I want them to win. But if they don't win, I'm not oh no, I'm not devastated. It doesn't carry forward for me. My fandom over the years has just been kind of beaten out of me that there is one team and it's the Bears. Because I like the Bulls and I like the Bucks. So the fan to me is more of hey, if a team I enjoy watching play does well, fantastic. Outside of the Bears, still have a direct effect on my emotional well-being. The rest, and that sounds like you with the Brewers and the Badgers.
The Packers definitely still have a direct effect on my emotional well-being. I think I've grown a lot from where I was as a child to now, and how hard I take losses, whether it be Badgers, Packers, Brewers, etc. But, man, you can ask. We had a little party last year for the Packers-Bears wild card game, and I think I was pretty miserable to be around for that second half. I don't think I was a very pleasant person to be around after that game either. So still room to grow for sure. But if the Cubs beat the Brewers, it'd be another level of devastation.
And again, I don't think, like when you're looking at the baseball side of it, though, the Brewers are better than the Cubs. They match up better. Because I still think it all comes down to pitching.
Yep, and the Cubs don't have tons of great pitching.
You got Miz. I mean, Harrison is still, I think...
He's been shaky recently.
And he's just young. Like, it's more of, just like Miz was really good, but he's young. You could just get a clunker out of him. And then, obviously, what's the third here?
I mean, Henderson would be the third right now, then Dustin May.
Just had a career high in 7 innings, right?
I believe so.
Correct.
I believe that's a career high.
93 pitches was a career high as well.
Again, very young, very talented, very young. So it's a good place to be, that if you're not going to guys that they're young, the talent is not questioned. But you go against Chicago, they don't have anyone to match up against Miz. I mean, Boyd's a nice player, but, like, it's not Miz. And then you're going to go Clayton Holmes, he's fine. Like, I mean, he's having a nice run here. Shota. But the Brewers rock him, seems like every time.
Every time. And watching him yesterday against the White Sox, I have not watched a game where Shota Imanaga has pitched where he hasn't been tagged for at least one massive home run.
He gives up home runs. He did strike out 10 that game. The difference is against the Brewers, he doesn't strike him out either. The Brewers just own him. So you look at the pitching right there.
I mean,
the Cubs, they're inverse teams. The Cubs are a better hitting team than the Brewers. But the Brewers are substantially better at pitching. And I think pitching matters more in the playoffs. So even if the Cubs are substantially better at hitting the ball, what matters in the playoffs is pitching. So, again, if I'm a Brewers fan, I want to see the Cubs because the matchup is better.
Yeah, I'm not arguing on the baseball side of things. The matchup is significantly better with the Chicago Cubs. I wouldn't be shocked if some players, I'm not trying to speak for them, but if some players held the same sentiment that I did, where you want the team that beat you last year. You want the big bad. You want to topple Goliath. You want to hit him with the sling.
Do you think they want that more than going to the World Series?
No, but I think that is also the most likely.
And that's not the mindset that a player is going to have of this is going to hold us back from the World Series. But it's going to be fun. 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a series that will likely cement the division. It's pretty much cemented. Maybe the cement has not.
I think they play 7 times in 10 days, Brewers and Cubs. So that's either the Cubs are going to storm back and it's going to be a dogfight neck and neck down the stretch, or the Brewers are going to pull away. And
I actually think it's going to be neither. I think it's going to be
a wash.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out and split that series, just like last year, wasn't it? Cubs won it by 1.
1 game, I believe.
Brewers win it by 1 this year. The Brewers
are up by 2 games. I think they're up 4-2 in the season series at the moment.
So maybe the Cubs gain a game back. Cubs stay 3.5, 3 back the rest of the way, which at least makes the Brewers have to play, be strategic throughout. But I don't think the Cubs will truly get within striking distance of the Brewers, which to me, striking distance this late in the year is 2 games. Mm-hmm. And as the year goes along, I think those games, it gets even tighter. Right now, it's probably, in this exact moment, 3, if they're within 3 by the time they play them that first of the 7 games, that's striking distance. But when you start getting into September, it's got to be 2. Or you're not really striking distance.
That's why I want it to be 5. Yeah. I want the lead to remain at 5 heading into that series, and then exiting that series, no worse than 4. If the Cubs gain a game on you, fine. Don't care. If they get to that 3 mark after that series, I'll be slightly nervous.
And it's just a matter of it's the first time you felt pressure in months as far as for the division.
Yeah.
And that always can just throws a wrench into things going on. We're going to talk some Badgers football on the other side. Worth noting that tonight's Badger football public practice presented by Culver's is delayed due to forecasted severe weather in the area. Gates are now scheduled to open no earlier than 7. And I think if there is lightning and things like that, the public practice could just be shut down. So follow at UW Badgers for that, and we'll continue to update you as we learn more as well. But we're going to talk some Badgers on the other side.
I think the best thing I can tell you about Metro Kia of Madison is that I went back. You guys know that I have 2 vehicles from there. In January, I got my Kia K4. Last year, my family got our Kia Carnival, and right now you can get a great deal on a Kia Carnival. Well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR financing for up to 48 months on a new 26 Carnival using Kia Finance. That's just $21.65 per month for every $1,000 finance for 48 months with no down payment required. Offer ends August 31st and is subject to credit approval, vehicle availability, and dealer participation. See Metro Kia for complete details. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. I absolutely love the team at Metro Kia of Madison, from the sales team to the service team and everything in between. Both of my experiences have been great. So head over to the team that I trust, and that is Metro Kia of Madison.
Molly and Jim rolls on after this.
Even without Micah Parsons, the Packers defense is still better than the Bears defense.
Yeah.
On 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The Don is back.
They better get season tickets right now, because before long, they probably won't be able to.
The Barry Alvarez Show returns to ESPN Madison this fall.
This is a big game this week, and we got to bounce back.
Tune in for the season premiere on Monday, August 24th.
That's pretty good. You win a lot of games when you do that.
The Barry Alvarez Show, presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford, airing all season long on Madison's home for Badgers fans. 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
My dad helps keep businesses and families safe.
Hi, this is Jeffrey Beckman, owner at J&K Security Solutions. And that's exactly what we've been doing for Madison and southern Wisconsin for over 40 years. From security cameras and intrusion alarms to fire protection, access control, and intelligent video monitoring, J&K delivers customized security solutions for homes and businesses.
Because feeling safe matters.
Learn more at jksecurity.com.
J&K Security Solutions. Local, trusted, and family owned.
There's a spirit you can only find in Door County, and Door County Distillery bottles it. Hey, it's Riley Jauch. Locally made in Carlsville, Door County Distillery crafts small batch spirits with Wisconsin ingredients and the flavors that make Door County unforgettable. From brandy, gin, whiskey, and my favorite, cherry vodka, my dad makes a mean cherry mule, to cocktails, tastings, tours, and more. It's a true Door County experience. Visit Door County Distillery in Carlsville or find your local retailer and more at doorcountydistillery.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
I love the group. I love the guys we got. We've been together for a couple years now. It's not our first rodeo together.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're talking about practice situations.
That's the mindset. That's the goal for us, is to be able to go out there and finish.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Exciting news for Packers fans over the weekend as tight end Tucker Kraft returned to 11-on-11 activity at training camp just over 9 months after tearing his ACL last season. Kraft is entering the final year of his contract and is expected to sign an extension some point this offseason with the Packers. ESPN NFL insider Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee Show.
He's healthy. He's awesome. I don't think anybody would say he's not deserving of a huge contract. He is a great player. What's going to be interesting is how far the tight end market jumps.
Packers back to work Friday in Denver against the Broncos for preseason game number 2.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
25 years ago, a generational Bucs team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Light It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucs podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucs.com/plus, the Bucs app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible.
I don't want to necessarily say that Wisconsin is going to beat Notre Dame.
You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. We're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Welcome back to Molly and Jim, your afternoon home for Wisconsin sports talk on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Molly and Jim continues on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Stream us on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Stay safe out there if you're driving around because the Badgers' public practice has been delayed no earlier than 7, and there's a chance that it won't happen at all. We'll continue to update you as it goes along, but UW Badgers on Twitter and Facebook is another way to kind of follow along with that, Riley Jauch.
Yeah, forecast not looking great at the moment. If it stays on, myself and Jesse Nelson plan on heading out there for practice. So if the practice stays on and you do end up heading out there, feel free to come up and say hi. I'd love to meet you and talk to you about the Badgers.
Get into the show, 844-770-3776. That is the Carl Stock text line. Less is more. And teased it before the break there. Jesse Nelson has been taking a lot of heat throughout the week here. Well, let's just play it because I think my heat for him is different than everyone else's.
I don't want to necessarily say that Wisconsin is going to beat Notre Dame on September 6th at Lambeau Field.
He's not saying, but is he saying?
All Notre Dame, including Marcus Freeman, all they're being asked about all offseason is being left out of the playoff last year and how much they're looking forward to November hosting Miami and South Bend because that's the team that got it instead of them and made it all the way to the championship and had a good chance against Indiana. That should have been Notre Dame. Notre Dame has new players coming in. They're not going to be fully acclimated. They're going to Lambeau Field, where Wisconsin pulled off an upset a decade ago against a top 5 ranked team in the country. If Wisconsin has these tricks up its sleeve, if Wisconsin looks as good as Riley and others are saying at practice, the best possible time to catch Notre Dame would be in week 1. National audience, one of the only games on Sunday night, a Labor Day weekend, standalone window. Wisconsin can beat Notre Dame. They can do it. They can do it.
I don't have much of a problem with the thought. I have a problem with that thought had no backbone. It was a jellyfish of a take. It just floated around aimlessly. There was no take there. Like, what are we doing in a game where you're supposed to be, because if I remember this correctly, on a jump around, Jesse Nelson was, you kind of asked for, you mentioned earlier, the Bold-a-thon. Just give me something a little bit wild. And he hemmed and hawed his way to the most jellyfish take I've ever heard in my life. Of just own it. Say, the Badgers are catching Notre Dame at the right time, and I think Wisconsin's going to win. Just put your name on it. Put some stank on it. Instead, honestly, he just does a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, unfortunately, you are correct. And he did the I'm not saying, but I'm saying. He hedged. He went, I think they can beat Notre Dame.
But isn't that kind of his catchphrase thing?
Yeah, now it's his thing. They talked about it on Wilde and Tausch
this morning.
Worse.
Your catchphrase is, I'm in a business where I'm paid to have an opinion, and I'm not going to give you an opinion.
Yeah, it's certainly not ideal. And it did get me thinking, though, how can the Badgers beat Notre Dame? Because I think everyone agrees that the Badgers, if everything goes absolutely perfectly, yes, the Badgers can beat Notre Dame. Are they going to beat Notre Dame? For as much as I love Wisconsin and for as high on the Badgers as I am, I don't think they're going to. But I was like, you know what? Let's do a little thought exercise here. What needs to happen for Wisconsin to beat Notre Dame? And here's what I think Jesse Nelson should have said, and maybe a little bit of a longer form than just I think Wisconsin can beat Notre Dame because they beat LSU in 2016, and Notre Dame has been upset in the early weeks of the season the past few years. Outside of that, I wanted to look at a real rationale. How can Wisconsin do it? And ultimately, I think it goes back to the old school Wisconsin Badgers formula. I'll tell you, what I've been seeing in practice recently, if you're a fan of old school Wisconsin football, is encouraging. The run blocking has looked exponentially better as camp has gone on. You can tell the offensive line, even with 2 backups, is starting to gel. So I think if you're the Badgers, you need to run the dang football. Colton Joseph has to be a massive part of that rushing attack. And then you sprinkle in the Sama, the Dupree, the body shots that Eric Mateos has talked to us about. You need to run the football and limit possessions. CJ Carr is coming in. I believe he's the odds-on Heisman favorite. If not, he's right there. You need to keep the ball out of his hands as much as humanly possible. And when you're on offense, they also have an All-American cornerback returning in Leonard Moore. Don't throw the ball his direction. Put Chris Brooks on him and run at him. Chris Brooks is a fantastic blocking wide receiver. Just hammer him over and over again. Don't give him a chance to make a game-changing interception. Then I'd say you have a few shots for sure, whether it be to a tight end such as Jacob Harris or Eugene Hilton Jr. We've seen big play capability from this offense.
Receiver.
Future 1,000-yard receiver. I stand by that as my bold Wisconsin take. Is it likely? No, but that's why it's a bold hot take. Occasional shot to Eugene Hilton, and you just limit possessions. That's how they do it on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the football, this is going to sound counterintuitive for what I just told you about CJ Carr, but they don't have Jeremiah Love this year. They're not really secure in their rushing game. Make them one-dimensional. Force CJ Carr to beat you, which he very well could. But you have an upgraded secondary. You spend all this money on it. Stop the run and make them one-dimensional. And again, you're going to need a little bit of good fortune, a bad mistake from Carr, which he made a few last year, but he's going to be a lot better this year. So that's how you do it on the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be tough, but you just want fewer possessions. And special teams, Sean West has to be the weapon that we know he can be. Big Ten West football, pin them deep. They're talented. Make them go the length of the field as many times as possible, and as well as few times as possible. And Gavin Lom, he'll need to make some field goals, and you're going to need some good fortune, a big mistake here and there to make this happen. But that's how you do it. Old school, old-fashioned, Big Ten, Wisconsin football. You run it down your throat. You don't give their high-powered offense a chance to really get going, and you trust that the investments you made in the transfer portal are as good as you think they are. That's how Wisconsin can beat Notre Dame. That's what I think Jesse should have said.
I think that the investments in the transfer portal can be as good as you think they are. They just still might not be good enough to beat Notre Dame, who only, I think, has 9
I think
new
it's
players.
7.
Seven.
It's
okay.
7.
And what is it, 30 for the Badgers?
33.
33 for the Badgers. So I do believe the Badgers are substantially better than they were last year. And I'll just make it a lot simpler in how they beat Notre Dame. I think you jump out, get that opening drive touchdown, surprising them with something that they're not ready to see, and you get 7, maybe get a lucky turnover early as Carr, like everyone else gets, you're a little rusty getting going, knock another field goal, get up 10-0 and hold on for dear life and hope something breaks your way in the second half that you can kind of have an opportunity to get a special teams play to swing the game your way. And I'm not. It's just because Notre Dame has every right to think that they'll be a playoff team again.
Mm-hmm.
And
we talk about expectations and too high of expectations. I don't think it's crazy for Notre Dame fans to expect their team to be in a semifinal or a college football national championship
for a Heisman trophy
and a Heisman caliber quarterback. I don't think that's too crazy either.
So I just want the Badgers to hang in this, don't get demoralized, have a puncher's chance, and if they get that right one path to victory play, awesome. But just give yourself a chance is what I'm looking for out of this game. And I do think the Badgers are good enough to give themselves a puncher's chance where the ball bounces their way, something weird happens, and now they're in a position to shock the world.
I think the theme of today's show is how hopeful can you be? Like, with the Packers, with the Brewers, and now with the Badgers, you can't always rely on hope.
Hope is not a strategy.
No, it's not.
The Packers are going to the NFC Championship game. The Brewers are beating the Dodgers to go to the World Series, and the Badgers are upsetting Notre Dame in Week 1. Why can't we have it all?
Which one are you betting your money on?
If I had to bet money, honestly, Brewers beating the Dodgers. They have the most proof of concept that they can succeed in the postseason and are built to make a postseason run. Packers haven't shown it enough. Badgers certainly haven't shown anything remotely close to being able to beat a team like Notre Dame in recent years. So if I had to throw money on one of them, I'm going with the Crew.
All right. This is Molly and Jim.
Let's be honest, there's just some days when coffee just isn't going to get the job done, and that's when I grab a ZOA Energy. I absolutely love having one when I need that extra little boost to get through a busy day, whether I'm heading into work, running around with my kids, or just trying to keep up with everything on my schedule. And the best part is that ZOA actually tastes good. It's one of those things I love having cold in the fridge and ready to go when I need it. So when your day needs a little more energy, grab a ZOA and keep it moving.
You're hanging out with Molly and Jim
What are we doing?
on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Remember when your favorite Pizza Hut classics came with prices like these? Good news, they're back. Introducing the Throwback Value Menu, featuring the new medium one-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $10, and other favorites starting at only $3. Plus, try the new Triple Cheese Mac or satisfy your sweet tooth with new s'more sticks. Check out the full Throwback Value Menu at pizzahut.com or on the Pizza Hut app. That's pizzahut.com. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
There's a spirit you can only find in Door County, and Door County Distillery bottles it. Hey, it's Riley Jauch. Locally made in Carlsville, Door County Distillery crafts small batch spirits with Wisconsin ingredients and the flavors that make Door County unforgettable. From brandy, gin, whiskey, and my favorite, cherry vodka, my dad makes a mean cherry mule, to cocktails, tastings, tours, and more. It's a true Door County experience. Visit Door County Distillery in Carlsville or find your local retailer and more at doorcountydistillery.com.
Buying a new vehicle should be exciting, and that's what Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb aims to do. That's why they vow to give you the better buying experience. Jim Rutledge here. I've had 3 better buying experiences at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, and I keep on going back because the experience and the Chevy is fantastic. So if you're looking for a buying experience you're going to want to repeat anytime you need a new or new-to-you vehicle, I recommend you make the short drive out to Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb, because you're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. You know that honey-do list that's been sitting on your counter since what, 2020? Yeah, we can handle that. From leaky faucets to light fixtures, our handyman team at Bruner Realty fixes it all. Fast, friendly, and done right the first time. We take care of it so you don't have to. Visit fixedbybruner.com. That's fixedbybruner.com. Because your to-do list deserves a happy ending.
It's nice to know some things are still made locally.
At Chalmers Jewelers, your custom jewelry is designed and handcrafted right here by local craftspeople.
No mass production, no sending your piece out, just real craftsmanship made right here in our community.
Custom jewelry,
designed locally,
crafted locally,
only at Chalmers Jewelers.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Dealing with storm damage? That's never fun. That's why homeowners are turning to Everlight Solar for roofing and exterior repairs done right. They handle the entire process, from insurance claims to fixing your roof with one trusted team. Less stress, faster solutions, and a home that stays protected from the elements. If your roof took a hit, Everlight's got you covered. Visit everlightroofing.com to get started today. That's everlightroofing.com. Everlight, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics.
Looking for something fun to do this fall? Get your friends together and join MSCR on the courts. Jesse Nelson here. Madison School and Community Recreation's adult fall volleyball and basketball leagues are open for registration now. Men's, women's, and all gender leagues are forming with games starting in early October at gyms all around Madison. MSCR leagues are all about community, connection, and having a great time, no matter your skill level. Sign up today at mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org.
Thanks for spending your afternoon with Molly and Jim on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Riley, I know that you're not a Bears fan, and I don't know if you'll ever venture into Soldier Field, but let's say you did go out there to see the Packers play the Bears.
Yes.
Would you eat, and Owen, you can chime in on this as well, a 2-pound pretzel? It is shaped like a 5-pronged bear paw with giant claw details. It is 2 pounds.
Hell yeah.
It will be served with homemade beer cheese, whole grain mustard, and cinnamon cream cheese icing.
That sounds fantastic. I could not think of a better snack at a sporting event than a giant pretzel. Actually, that's funny that it's Soldier Field and you bring up giant pretzels. I just remembered one of the times I went to Wrigley.
Yeah.
I got the giant pretzel that they offered there, and it comes with the beer cheese, the icing, and
I'm sure it's probably
honey
the same
mustard.
company.
Probably pretty soon. It's not a bear claw, or it wasn't a cub claw. It was just a giant pretzel. I absolutely love giant pretzels, and it fills you up because it's so much bread.
And it's warm.
Yeah, it's so good. So if that's under $20, I'm in.
So was it a good pretzel?
It was actually it was a shockingly good pretzel.
Because like at Badger games, there's the Amish pretzels,
Ben's pretzels.
Ben's pretzels,
Oh,
yeah, so
I
good.
devour those.
But if you mess up and go to like the regular stand,
they're terrible.
That's the worst pretzel I've ever seen in my life.
Little dinky super pretzels. They suck,
and they're like in between. Like they're not crunchy like a pretzel like you get at home, and they're not soft like a pretzel you'd want to get. They're just like the worst possible combination of the two.
And they still charge you $8 for this terrible pretzel when it's $11 for a fantastic pretzel.
So speaking of price here, how much do you think that pretzel cost at Soldier Field?
$25.
$33.
Wow.
40.
What? Never mind. That
it's 2 pounds. Like that feeds the group.
I don't know if
you
does.
each get a paw. I mean, you each get a claw there. 2 pounds? I mean, how much do you think of that pretzel weighs at a Badger game?
I guess probably close to a pound, like 3/4 of a pound. The Ben's pretzels, those are thick. Those are substantial, I would say.
All right, I'm going to look this up
look
here.
Up how much a Ben's pretzel.
What is your guess for the weight of this?
Ben's pretzel. Have you had a Ben's pretzel before?
Yes, I have. I wasn't sure if we were doing the Ben's pretzel or the big one at the Soldier Field. Are we doing Ben's?
No, so the big one at Soldier Field's 2 pounds.
Oh, okay.
How much do you think a Ben's pretzel weighs?
And you said a pound?
I think it's like 3/4 of a pound. Because it's a normal sized pretzel, but it's heavy.
But it's not that dense.
Yeah, you guys are so off.
What is it, a 1/4 pound?
The biggest one that I've seen is 7 ounces.
Okay.
Maybe really big. You could get to
3/4 of a pound.
Yeah. So that's the biggest ones there is like 7. That's a jumbo stadium pretzel.
And that's
7 ounces.
That's delicious. Yeah, so 2 pounds of pretzel. Okay. So I split that with a buddy. I would split it with one other person.
$20
We each go $20. I'm back in.
I would do it. I'm a sucker for a good soft pretzel, especially beer cheese with it.
Yeah. It's more of like I would have to split it with someone because I can't in good conscience or plan on being able to stay awake in the game / feel good on the way home if I eat 2 pounds of pretzels. Because you are at a football game more often than not in a race against time of it getting too cold.
True.
So you want to eat this pretzel with some paste, too.
Yeah, especially you get late in the season.
Yeah.
That claw is going to get frosty.
Yeah, but and then you want to eat it when it's warm so it warms you up. Mm-hmm. So that and a Coors Light, like that is a game.
I'm in.
All right. Well, if we do a show trip over there, we will get a pretzel to share. This has been Molly and Jim. Peace.
Imagine the peace of mind knowing your home or business is safe 24/7. I'm Jeffrey Beckman, president of J&K Security Solutions, and we provide security you can trust. Serving Madison and southern Wisconsin, J&K Security